Welcome back to the Malaysia Money Matters Show. It's the 27th of June, 2025.
And today we are taking that deep dive into the latest economic and company news from Malaysia and also looking at key international developments.
Yeah, our mission is really to cut through all the noise, give you the most important insights quickly so you're properly informed.
Exactly. Get you up to speed on what matters. So where should we start? Malaysian companies.
Let's do it. First up, Destini. They've secured a RM71 million contract for KTM electric train maintenance.
Right, KTM, that's a pretty solid win. I mean, it really reinforces their expertise, doesn't it? And their commitment to Malaysia's rail industry. It's good for them, good for the sector.
Yeah, signals that ongoing investment in rail. Okay, switching gears to property, EcoWorld Development reported record earnings.
Ah, yes, and they're on track to exceed their sales target, too. A big part of that was the RM 402.3 million land sale to Microsoft Payments.
Microsoft Payments, wow. So what's the impact there? Strong performance, clearly, but strategically?
Well, it shows really strong financial performance, obviously. But, strategically, it points to their growth in industrial land development. Selling to a huge name like Microsoft, that's significant.
Definitely. But then you've got EcoWorld International facing a bit of a tougher time in the UK property market, exploring asset monetization.
Yeah, it's a different story overseas. The UK market is challenging, so they're adapting, looking to sell off some assets. It's about navigating those headwinds, really, planning for the future.
Makes sense. Okay, Gamuda saw a profit increase.
Driven by strong domestic construction and, interestingly, contributions from their data center investments.
Data centers again, so diversification paying off.
Looks like a diversifying revenue, plus building a really substantial construction order book. They seem well positioned.
Good for them. Jati Tinggi Group, they got a contract too, right?
They did. RM 54.24 million for cable installation at a substation. It adds significantly to their project wins, setting them up for future revenue.
Another infrastructure play. Interesting. Now, KPJ Healthcare. They're reviewing overseas operations, possibly exiting Bangladesh.
Yeah, Dhaka specifically, seems like the civil unrest there is prompting a rethink. It looks like they're aiming to streamline their international exposure, maybe focus more on core Malaysian operations.
Right, managing risk.
Yeah.
Okay, Kim Lung Resources reported lower first quarter profit despite higher revenue. What's happening there?
Weaker milling margins. It highlights some of the challenges, in the palm oil sector's processing segment right now. Revenue up, profit down. Margin pressure.
Got it. MBSB has some ambitious plans, I see. Growing its loan book to RM 50 billion by FY 2026.
Very ambitious. And they're targeting specific sectors. Aerospace, renewable energy, semiconductors, high potential industries.
So betting on growth sectors.
Exactly. It's a focused growth plan targeting those key industries for the future.
Okay. Malfa International is set to receive a large sum, RM 933.7 million, from selling its stake in Australia's Aveo Group.
That's a significant return on investment for them. It'll definitely boost their financial liquidity, a big cash injection.
Definitely helpful. Petronas Chemicals Group expected to report a poor second quarter.
Yeah, mainly due to large currency translation losses and some operational issues, short-term challenges.
Just a blip.
Well, the expectation is for a rebound later in the year. It shows how sensitive these big companies are to currency swings, but the underlying business is expected to recover.
Okay. Powerwell Holdings secured an RM 8.3 million Kanjan contract, supplying switchboards for a data center in Indonesia.
Another data center link. It showcases their capabilities in that, rapidly growing market. Good move for them.
Seems like data centers are popping up everywhere in the news. Sumi Sajana Group received a 5-year work order from Sarawak Shell.
Yes, for specialized chemicals and services for a deep water gas project. That secures a long-term engagement for them in the oil and gas sector. Stability there.
Long-term visibility, good.
Yeah.
Sunway Property acquired nearly 100 acres in Kuang.
For RM 65.1 million, yeah. They're expanding their industrial park. It's a strategic move, clearly capitalizing on demand from manufacturers and logistics providers.
Industrial space is hot. Now, Top Glove Corporation, net profit fell 31% in Q3 despite revenue growth.
Surging expenses are the culprit there. They're navigating really intense competition and also those tariff uncertainties. So the focus is on efficiency.
Tough balancing act. Lastly, on the company front, Westports Holdings. Earnings growth expected to accelerate.
Yes, from that port tariff hike taking effect next month, it's actually quite crucial for funding their infrastructure investments and keeping Port Klang competitive.
Right, needed for upgrades. Okay, let's shift to the bigger picture international and political news impacting Malaysia.
Let's do it. ANZ Research is forecasting Malaysia's economic outlook might slow down a bit, spending cuts due to lower government revenue, even if interest rates are cut.
So the government's fiscal space is tight.
Pretty tight, yeah. It makes things like the petrol subsidy rationalization really critical. Balancing the books is key right now.
Important context. Elsewhere, Asian currencies firmed up a bit as the U.S. dollar weakened, concerns over the Fed's independence.
Yeah, it shows how sensitive markets are to any hint of political influence on monetary policy. Weakens the dollar when that happens.
Interesting market psychology. And copper prices, extending gains.
They are. Goldman Sachs is forecasting a peak driven by tight supply outside the U.S., reflects those global supply-demand dynamics, and maybe some impact from U.S. tariffs, too.
Global forces at play. Beating the U.S., first quarter GDP revised lower, showing contraction, and the goods trade deficit widened.
Yeah, the data suggests tariffs created some distortions, slowed consumer spending, though a rebound is expected. Still shows the impact.
And the U.S. bond market is bracing for potentially $1 trillion in additional Treasury supply.
Up to $1 trillion, yeah. That could definitely affect short-term borrowing costs and market liquidity. Something to watch.
Definitely. And Fed Chair Powell made comments about interest paid on reserves.
Right. He argued ending it wouldn't save money and actually risks financial volatility. He stressed it's a crucial tool for stability, managing bank liquidity.
Okay, so it's not just free money for banks. China's clean tech push. J.P. Morgan sees it as a play for dominance.
Economic and geopolitical dominance, yeah. It highlights the global strategic importance of these green technologies. China's leveraging that transition.
A major global shift. Closer to home, Malaysia held its first meeting on the EU Deforestation-Free Products Regulation, the EUDR.
Very important step. This is all about aligning Malaysia's response to secure that low-risk country status. It's vital for protecting key exports like palm oil.
It needs careful handling. And related to palm oil, Malaysia lowered the July export duty reference price.
Yes, bringing the duty down to 8.5%. The aim is to boost competitiveness in the global market, make Malaysian palm oil more attractive.
Makes sense. Malaysia's producer price index declined by 3.6% in May.
Yeah, that indicates some disinflationary pressure across most sectors. Prices producers are getting are falling.
Okay. And MEDA and DHL extended their partnership.
To strengthen Malaysia's logistics ecosystem, yes.
Yeah.
It enhances Malaysia's position as an investment hub, boosts its supply chain resilience. Good strategic move.
Good collaboration. Finally, oil prices holding steady despite Middle East tensions.
Pretty steady for now. Investors are watching that Iran-Israel situation closely. Iran's supreme leader warned of retaliation. So, geopolitical tensions remain a key factor for oil markets. Always lurking.
Always something to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a wrap on our deep dive into today's most important financial and political headlines.
Yeah, hope you gained some valuable insights there and maybe a clearer picture of what's shaping the markets right now.
Absolutely. And be sure to subscribe to the Malaysian Money Matters podcast so you never miss out on these essential updates. Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you would like a deeper dive into all the investment opportunities from today's news, subscribe to my newsletter at moneymatters.substack.com. I will be sharing a deeper analysis of the key investment opportunities from today's news, including what makes these opportunities stand out and how they fit into the broader market trends. By subscribing to the Malaysia Money Matters newsletter, you will also get exclusive insights on my watch list and portfolio and fundamental reports on Malaysian listed companies.